What's up, Crusaders? Welcome to another episode of Arcade Crusade. In today's video, we are going to continue the whitewater pinball restoration. This video will be part 2 in the whitewater restoration series. If you have not seen part 1, I suggest you go back and watch part 1. In today's video, we're mainly going to be focusing on tearing down the upper playfield, getting the remaining ramps off the upper playfield, taking the Yeti off, starting to tear it down so we can wax and clean the upper playfield, and then we'll see where we are there. Maybe we'll start doing some stuff on the main playfield, but we're mainly going to focus on the upper playfield today. So I have the upper playfield set up on the bench here. Same state we left it in after the last episode, and I'll just turn up my brightness here so we can actually see and zoom in a little bit. All right, so the first thing we need to do on this upper playfield is I'm going to remove the up kicker here. All right, and that is that screw out. Now we might have another screw under here. We might have to remove this plastic. I'm really not too sure. Yep, there's another screw under the plastic. So gonna have to remove this plastic before we do anything. Figure out what size we need here. There we go. And again, when you do this, make sure you have a bunch of Ziplocs ready so that when, oh, there we go. We got a whole spacer coming off with our plastic there. That's always fun. So that'll have to go back in. All right, well, I'll put that to the side for now the way it is. And I'm gonna put this in a Ziploc. Yeah, I need to get a wrench on the other side of that. But we will put this in a Ziploc for now, just so we don't lose that. And then we will take off the other screw. All right, so now that is completely loose. So when we remove the Whirlpool ramp and the Bigfoot ramp here, this will pull off with everything. So I'm gonna get a Ziploc ready for this piece. Okay, we're done there. And then now we need to worry about taking off the main ramp that leads to both Bigfoot and to the Whirlpool. So there is a screw here on this post, and then we have the two that connect it to the Whirlpool ramp itself. And then I believe that's it. So that goes to Bigfoot. And there's just these two screws here that connect the Whirlpool ramp. Let that sit. I got a little Ziploc ready for our Whirlpool screws, and then I'll need to get another one ready for the Bigfoot screws. All right, so we got a Ziploc ready for our Bigfoot ramp. Okay, interesting. So the Whirlpool ramp actually connects to the underside of the playfield with some nuts. Looks like 4 nuts. Yep, they're 1/4-inch wood screws connected to the bottom of the playfield. So we can hold off on that for now. Mainly, we just need to take off the ramp flap here and just kind of get our ball gate out of the way for now. Just hold that up to the side. Let me change bits. So I'll just come at the ramp flap here. Alright, there's that screw out, and then we got one more. And there's the second screw out. So that should be all of our screws removed to now be able to pull both our ramps and this ball kicker out. And actually should be able to slide the ball kicker out of the side here. There we go. All right, so that's out. Move that out of the way, and then now just slide that forward. Stuck on the ball gate. I guess we'll just take the ball gate with it, but that is the entire Bigfoot ramp removed. So completely out of the game. This one here, it's got a piece of Mylar here that somebody placed over the spine chiller. I'm just gonna peel it back because I need to get to that screw there. And what I'll do is I'll probably just cut this Mylar right at the edge because there's no reason for it to cover this screw. Once we remove this screw, the spine chiller will be free as well. All right, so this screw goes to the spine chiller, and that is our second ramp removed. So I'm just putting these off to the side for now. We'll need to clean those later, but yeah, there's our Mylar, and I might have to get a second screw for the spine chiller because we're missing one. So I may have to put that on my list of things that I'll need to replace. I'm just gonna lean this here for now. I'll have to order a screw for this and put it on my list of things that I need. All right, these go to the Bigfoot ramp. Spine chiller. And then we just need to put the rest of the Whirlpool nuts in here. And it should be 1/4-inch nut driver. And I'm just bagging up this as well with the 2 screws that we took out for the wire form for the up kick. So that is out as well and out of the way. Hopefully these should be a 1/4 inch underneath, and I'll take a picture just to make sure we know how they go on. But when we take this off, the sign should fall off it as well. All right, so you guys can really see at the angle we're at, but there is 4 1/4 inch wood screws underneath that hold the whirlpool ramp and the sign for the whirlpool. And it essentially just goes like this when it's up on the playfield the correct way. So we got that pulled off and our whirlpool ramp pulled off. So now these can also go to the side. And I can put these screws in the whirlpool. Bag. And we keep in all of our screws nice and organized here, so we do not need to worry about this stuff. You got to be careful with this upper playfield, and I'll spin it around to show you why. Until you remove Bigfoot, you got to be careful here because there's pins on Bigfoot, and you can break these pins off if you aren't careful. So I guess the next thing we're going to do is remove Bigfoot. And I'm not really sure the easiest way that he comes off. Looks like you remove a few wood screws on this mounting plate here, just all 1/4 inch wood screws. So I'm just going to come in, there's 2 on the bottom here, so I'm just going to come in at the bottom 2. There's both of those for Bigfoot. And then we'll go to these top 2 up here. And again, I don't know the actual order that these things need to be removed. I am just completely guessing here by looking at this. And I'm kind of hoping, I guess I should really take a picture before I remove this thing. Otherwise I'm gonna have no idea what went where. All right, so our last screw. All right, last wood screw pulled out, and okay, so it looks like the Bigfoot motor has a flasher attached to it. And so we can sneak Bigfoot out like this. So that's no problem. And then we'll have to remove this flasher up here because it's connected to the same wiring as the motor. So let me take a picture of that. So if we remove, there's a flasher on top the Playfield here that's connected to Bigfoot. It's also connected to a ball guide. So if we remove the flasher and the screw that goes alongside of it, Bigfoot is now free, completely free of our upper Playfield. And now we can, you know, clean him up a little bit, wipe him down. Yeah, it sucks that the motor is on the same wire as this flasher. So that flasher has to get removed with Bigfoot, but that's fine. Our Bigfoot's actually in pretty good condition, honestly. Usually it's like a lot more, usually he's a lot more like yellowed, but I mean his face isn't yellowed, his teeth aren't yellowed, like he looks pretty good actually, so cannot complain. And the solenoid looks to be in pretty good shape too. It's a little dirty, but looks to be in pretty good shape. None of the parts seem to be bent. Pretty good motion there. So maybe we'll replace the coil sleeve on that while we got it all apart. It's probably the right thing to do. And then that is the board underneath. So Bigfoot can go out of the way now as well. And really now we're just looking at like a lot of basic stuff left on this upper Playfield. I'm just gonna take a picture of how it is now just to know what goes where. And I'll need a little Ziploc. Interesting piece of broken bulb, but I don't see a broken bulb anywhere. I'll put all 5 of these screws in a big Ziploc, and then I'm going to put Bigfoot in that Ziploc. That way all of it stays together. Actually, I might get a gallon-sized Ziploc for Bigfoot. That's fine though. All right. Guess we'll remove the sign. There's no point in leaving that on. I'm gonna have to hold the nut on the back of it, I guess. One size bigger. Interesting. All right, so we got the nut removed there, and there's a washer on the back side with it as well. And screw is like really hammered down. I might need to hold it with a I'll put the nut back on. There we go. There we go. We got the sign removed from that. Pull off the post rubber. Interesting. Well, that's pretty much the entire upper playfield pulled apart. We got all the ramps taken off. Bigfoot is pulled out. We're kind of just at a point now where we need to rebuild the flipper. I guess we can take the flipper off because it doesn't need to be mounted to the bottom of the playfield, and since the connectors are disconnected, it's perfectly fine. Let me just take a picture of the way this is mounted, so I mount it the right way when I put it back together. And then I will need a ratchet to take the flipper bat itself out. Yeah, this flipper's definitely gonna need a rebuild. This thing is beat, ton of wear. I got a brand new bat for it. I got a full kit to rebuild it, so no issue there. Let me go grab my ratchet set and the correct Allen wrench to loosen the bat out, and then we can pull the entire assembly off, and then this actually can be rebuilt on the bench. So let me get the tools to take this off, and then we will take the flipper off. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I loosened the flipper from underneath right on the pawl here, and I got it hand loose right now, so now hopefully we got enough to pull this out if we need to. There we go, nice and loose now. And might have to just kind of force it through. It's right on the edge of coming out. we go. It's easier if you hold the pawl and just kind of spin back and forth as you pull it out. But now we got the old flipper bat removed. Just hand tighten the old pawl just a little bit. Just put it like this. All right, and then to remove the flipper, that is the wrong size, I'm gonna get a Ziploc ready, just a big one, because we are gonna come back to this and rebuild the entire thing. And actually, you'll notice somebody put the wrong flipper rebuild kit on this. So you'll see right here, it's got this big conical spring on there. That's what you use to rebuild a System 11. This is a WPC, so someone didn't hook up the spring to the pawl here, and it's completely backwards for how it should be mounted. So someone rebuilt this flipper at some point, and this is not the correct WPC flipper configuration. And just 8 wood screws here that we're gonna need to remove, and I'm just removing them one by one. I'll go up top. And the nice thing about this upper playfield is, like I said earlier, we can rebuild this flipper on the bench instead of, I mean, the bottom two we're gonna have to do inside the cabinet, but we can rebuild this. We can take this flipper completely off here and rebuild it on the bench. So there is all 8, and now this can pull completely out. So like I said, I got a Ziploc ready waiting for this, and this is just gonna go inside this Ziploc. And I got a brand new bushing for this, and everything we should need to rebuild this flipper. And make sure we got our 8 screws here. Yep, we got all 8 screws. Drop those screws in there. And now our flipper is out of the way, and we're just gonna trash this because we have a brand new one. So the only thing really left to disconnect is the Opto, and then everything else is pretty much good to go. I'm gonna remove this rubber. Don't care about that. And then this Opto here. All right, this Opto right up here. We got 2 wood screws that have to get removed to take it out. And this, we'll put this Opto in a small bag with these wood screws. There's the one side. And that's the other side now. Oh, and I drop it. But that is the Opto pulled off now. Now we pretty much have it. We are just down to, we're just completely down to bulbs and lane guides here. So I usually don't take the lane guides off until I'm getting ready to clean and wax this thing. This one can come off, but I gotta get more Ziplocs ready because I like to put the screws in with them. Yeah, we'll take these lane guides off. Actually, let me make sure I document the correct way that this goes on. There we go. And that's one lane guide, and then we'll take off this one as well. The other lane guide, I might leave this one on because it has a nut going through the bottom of the playfield, and I may just leave it. These two can just be removed from the top, as well as the one over here. So I may just leave, let me get a picture of this, and then a picture of this lane guide back here. And just remove this one. All right, that lane guide is taken off, and now we're just looking at 2 more wood screws on this bottom lane guide. And those are now off as well. So now we're looking at the entire upper playfield basically torn down to the post. We got the flash around the post here, but that's off the playfield. That's just going to get a cleaning. We don't even need to wax that area because the ball doesn't go over there. But that is the entire upper playfield down to the posts and just this one ball guide right here. And that is just completely stripped. So now we're at a point we're ready to, I got to clean up some Mylar all around here. We're at a point now where we can get the Mylar off for all of this and clean some of this up. Yeah, I might just remove this Mylar because we're going to have our Cliffy there that protects that. So, and actually my Cliffies just came in the mail for up here because there's one that goes like right here, right where the ball drops. But that is torn down to the post and one ball guide and just the bulbs that are still on, and there's not many bulbs on here. So that is the entire upper playfield pulled apart. So with the amount of stuff that I have taken off right now, I think I'm just going to clean everything up, get it in bags, start cleaning the ramps and stuff like that. And then I think what we'll do next video is we'll clean wax this, and hopefully I should have my LEDs and rubbers in time that we can put, well actually I think I'm just doing, I probably have the LEDs on hand because I don't think I was going to do any special LEDs up here except for the whirlpool sign. I was just going to do clear non-ghosting for all of these, and then for the GI I was just going to do the normal, and then this GI up here I'll probably do a matrix bulb so I can hook up an LED strip in the back and light up the boulders in the back of the cabinet. So I'll probably do this GI right here because yeah, the way this goes in the cabinet, it'll be up here like this. So this GI back here is where we'll put the matrix bulb. So I'll need a matrix bulb for this before we put everything back together. But that's the entire mini playfield taken apart on whitewater. And next episode we'll come back, we'll clean that. We'll start putting everything back together with LEDs. I mean, it's only one rubber up here and the posts, two rubbers that have to go. We'll rebuild the flipper for it. We'll start working on that, putting that back together. Once we get the upper playfield taken care of, we can start focusing on the main game. But I mean, just in, you know, hour and a half, we have the upper playfield and all the ramps completely pulled apart, taken out of the game, and stripped down to just that. And the main playfield is just, it's almost down to the post as well. We got to take a couple boulders and some plastics off, and that'll be down. Maybe we'll take some lane guides and clean all that, but that is pretty much down to like absolutely nothing. Like we are ready to clean and wax this entire game. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Next one, we'll just come back, work on the rest of this. Hopefully I just got some parts in. You can actually see it right behind me, the edge of the whirlwind topper. I just got some of my whirlwind parts in, so we can actually start working on that too. So I'll just keep filming videos working on this stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.